In this video, we'll talk about the paradox of atheism, how some people move through life talking about one ideology but living their life as if they believe in a different one. First, Jordan Peterson talks about how attributing meaning to something requires myth, not scientific thought. For example, if it is said someone is scary, that feeling could be totally inaccurate in representing that person, but we need some sort of story or feeling behind something to make it more memorable for us. This is probably why academic disciplines like science and mathematics lagged so far behind religion. And that's because we tend to place more emphasis on things that seem emotionally real to us, like religion and mythology, and put less stock into something that's theoretically relevant like science or math. So the emergence of these secular fields presents us with a problem. Here's a quote from the book. How totally different did the world appear to medieval man? For him, the earth was eternally fixed and at rest in the center of the universe, encircled by the course of a sun that solicitously bestowed its warmth. Men were all children of God under the loving care of the Most High, who prepared them for eternal blessedness and knew exactly what they should do and how they should conduct themselves in order to rise from a corruptible world to an incorruptible and joyous existence. Such a life no longer seems real to us, even in our dreams. Natural science has long ago torn this lovely veil to shreds. The capacity to maintain explicit belief in religious fact, however, has been severely undermined in the last few centuries, first in the West and then everywhere else. A succession of great scientists and iconoclasts has demonstrated that the universe does not revolve around man, that our notion of separate status from and superiority to the animal has no empirical basis, and that there is no God in heaven, nor a heaven as far as the eye can see. In consequence, we no longer believe our own stories and no longer even believe that those stories served us well in the past. I'm not making this video to argue for or against the existence of God. In fact, that would be missing the point. The point is that religion serves an extremely important function for humanity. First, here's a quote by Friedrich Nietzsche, and then another quote from Jordan Peterson in the book. The mythological cosmos had man at its midpoint. The objective universe was heliocentric at first, and then less than that later. Man no longer occupies center stage. The world is, in consequence, a completely different place. The mythological perspective has been overthrown by the empirical, or so it appears. This should mean that morality predicated upon such myth should have disappeared as well, as belief in comfortable illusion vanished. Friedrich Nietzsche made this point clearly more than 100 years ago. When one gives up Christian belief, for example, one thereby deprives oneself of the right to Christian morality. Christianity is a system, a consistently thought out and complete view of things. If one breaks out of it as a fundamental idea, the belief in God, one thereby breaks the whole thing to pieces, and one has nothing of any consequence left in one's hands. Christianity presupposes that man does not know, cannot know, what is good for him and what evil. He believes in God, who alone knows. Christian morality is a command. Its origin is transcendental. It is above all criticism, all right to criticize. It possesses truth only if God is truth. It stands or falls with the belief in God. If modern Westerners really do not believe they know of their own accord intuitively what is good and evil, if they consequently think that they can no longer have a need of Christianity as a guarantee of morality, that is merely the consequence of the ascendancy of Christian evaluation and expression of the strength and depth of this ascendancy, so that the origin of modern morality has been forgotten, so that highly conditional nature of its right to exist is no longer felt. Our systems of post-experimental thought and our systems of motivation and action therefore coexist in a paradoxical union. One is up to date, the other is archaic. One is scientific, the other traditional, even superstitious. We have become atheistic in our description, but remain evidently religious, that is, moral in our disposition. What we accept as true and how we act no longer commensurate. We carry on as if our experience has meaning, as if our activities have transcendent value, but we are unable to justify this belief intellectually. This is the paradox of atheism. An atheist won't lie, cheat, steal, or kill. And if they do, they will cover these things up as if they are covering up a wrongdoing. They prescribe to morality as the framework of life, but they deny the texts and beliefs that give them that framework to begin with. They act as if there is a God without believing in one. Dostoevsky pointed that out brilliantly in a book that we're going to be covering later on this channel. How people who don't believe in God are horrified and affected by immorality and act as if there is one. This is the atheist paradox. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe. I do post weekly content. I'm Muslim Alanizi. Smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thanks so much for checking in and have a great day.